Hi, everybody. I think I got cut off at the end of my last video. So I just wanted to point out that I was showing you that when you were on the West key number page, you end up with two search bars. So this is what I mean about kind of slowing down and making sure that you're typing the right words in the right place to get the right results. Because here you can search for your key numbers relevant to your issue. And that's where we typed in pregnancy discrimination, and that was really helpful. So I would encourage you to just kind of look around and take a look at what some of these digest books look like. You know, they don't use the word digest here on Westlaw, but that is what they are called in the system itself, are the digest books. Okay, so let me spend the rest of the time talking about the other way to find cases, and that's really by doing a keyword search. What I would recommend here is that you come from your Westlaw homepage and go to State Materials. From State Materials, I would click on Massachusetts. And I do like to make this page one of my favorites because it's really helpful to just have all my Massachusetts stuff right there from my homepage. Now we're going to come down to Massachusetts cases. And let's assume we know we want to search Massachusetts state cases. So when I click there, I can actually subdivide it for SJC cases, appeals court cases, or trial courts. Well, we know we don't want trial courts. We might want these two together. So we can just start by searching Massachusetts cases up here. So you can see I'm in Massachusetts state cases. It gives me my area. The option to search a different jurisdiction isn't here because I've already told Westlaw that we're in Massachusetts. So this is a super generic topic, but let's say I wanted to just write about, elements of assault and battery. I'm just going to stop there for a second. Remember in class, we talked about these auto-population that Westlaw does. I am not a fan. You can see right away that it's offering me various other avenues to search, and I don't necessarily want these. I wish it would default to sources that are in my jurisdiction, but it doesn't like to do that. So you can see these are like New Mexico, and then down here, modern tort law. I just encourage you, if you're using the generic search bar, just type in the search and then click enter. Do not be persuaded to click on any of these bright and shiny features. So then I click Massachusetts cases about assault and battery. Well, clearly there's going to be, there's like 1,000 results here. But what I wanted you to see is this page that we were on in class. I know we talked about this over here, related documents. I actually don't like looking over there. I like to stick to the center part of my page. Here are cases in Massachusetts, because we've asked it to search Massachusetts, that focus on the words elements of assault and battery. Now, I know this is a very broad topic, and through your, in-class homework assignment, but the in-class exercise that I'm going to ask you to look at for next week, you can find, it's more directed than this, but I just want you to see how these results are brought up. They are not sorted by date, and they're not sorted by jurisdiction. They're sorted by cases where your search terms appear most frequently. So you could resort this by date or most cited. I think that's really helpful. I also want to encourage you to come over to this side of your case page where it says narrow. Use those filters. You definitely don't want 1,742 cases. So you can search within results, which means you can find something more specific. You can also open by jurisdiction. And again, you can ask it to sort only the Supreme Judicial Court opinions, the Massachusetts Court of Appeals decisions, and so on. You can also search it a little bit more by subtopic, and then so on. But these are the ones that would be the most helpful to get started. You can also search by a date range. From perusing your results here, it's not so different from perusing and looking at your results in the key number system. And if you find a case that looks interesting to you, you can just click on that case. Now, if you're still following along, I want to show you something really cool. This is a step ahead of what we did in class. let's assume I just did that searching as I just did, and I found this case from 2010, Commonwealth versus Porro. And this is a long decision, I can see, because there's a lot of pages to scroll down, but you guys know how to read cases now. So look at that, 27 headnotes. That's a lot of cases. But let's just assume that in my reading of this case, and of course I would have read the entire case, so I read the whole case of Commonwealth versus Porro, and I get down here and I see this definition of assault and battery that's in headnote number 3. I'm going to stop here for a second. First of all, this is something to play around with. If you click on the 3 here, it will hyperlink you to where in the case that headnote is discussed. Remember that each headnote summarizes points of law in the case. So if you can click right from the headnote. You're staying in the same document, but you will be taken to the section of that case where that headnote is discussed. That's kind of cool. So I'll go back up to the top. And here's the section of that part of the case. If I'm in the headnote and I say to myself after my research, this was really important. I got a really good legal definition of assault and battery. Intentional assault and battery is the intentional and unjustified use of force, however slight. If I think that's actually really helpful, then I can find more cases with this exact point of law by looking at the headnote number and topic. And what's the headnote number and topic? Assault and battery 111. Now, do I need to know this exact number? No. But I can now take this assault and battery headnote, assault and battery 111, and go all the way back. Keep in mind, this is Commonwealth versus Porro. I can go all the way back now to my topics and key numbers, which I'm going to do. And I'm going to click on assault and battery. I'm going in order, assault and battery, 111. So I have to open up these little numbers, and there it is, assault and battery in general. And how many cases in Massachusetts have this particular headnote, assault and battery 111? There are 27 of them. Now, I forgot to take a look to see if Commonwealth versus Porro was, I think it was a 2010 case, but I forgot to see if it was a SJC case and it's an SJC case. So now I'm going to sort by only SJC decisions, and there's 13 of them. If I'm a betting person, I'm going to say that one of these is Commonwealth versus Porro. Let's just scroll down. And there it is. And there it is with the name of the headnote under common law. So here's the headnote. An intentional assault and battery is intentional unjustified use of force on the person, however slight. That was the exact headnote that we read in the case. And if you're really paying attention, look, there's little glasses next to it because I already looked at this case. So I know that sounded like a lot to connect, but I want you to, between today when I make these videos on Thursday and class next week, one of the concepts I really want you to gather is how the headnotes in your cases are connected to the West key number system, because their use is as a tool to find cases by topic. You could do that Google searching, and we started with 1,700 cases. That's a lot to read, and that's a lot to narrow down. It's much more efficient to use the headnote system to find cases. But one really cool thing that I just showed you now is even through your Google type searching, if you found yourself with one really good case like Commonwealth versus Porro, you can take that case's headnotes on the point of law that you're interested in, find the topic and number, and then take that back over to the key number system and see what other cases are listed there with that same topic. And that is the most efficient way to not look at Superior Court decisions, and to stay in your jurisdiction. I'm going to say one other thing, and then I'll close the video and give you time to work on your handout for next week and just to play with Westlaw. And that is that this whole system is connected. The key numbers are the same in every state. So let's imagine your boss just came into your office and said, "Oh, have you been researching Massachusetts assault and battery law? I meant for you to research New York assault and battery law." You can just, watch this, change the jurisdiction. Let's put change the jurisdiction and go to, I don't know, pick any state. I just picked New York because I know there'll be cases. And I'm going to look up the same topic and key number in a different jurisdiction. And here it is in New York. Same exact thing. Or I could look it up in California. It's the same head note. It's still assault and battery 111. Isn't that cool? I think that's really powerful. And then one other thing. Sorry, I keep saying one other thing. From here, oh, I'm still in California. Let me go back to Massachusetts. Let's say I feel like, oh, I'm looking at the cases that are assault and battery 111, but I want more cases about assault and battery, but I don't know what those head notes are. Go back to the table of contents for my topic. So I'm in assault and battery, and I just start seeing where I am. Well, 111 was in general. 112 is assault in general. 113 is battery in general. But maybe I really want to get down and I need to learn more about this concept of overt act. Because once you start learning more about a topic, you might get more specific needs for your research. So these tables of contents within each of these bigger topics are full of information to help educate you about whatever it is that you're researching. And you can just turn these pages here and take a look at the cases that are just generally in this area. This all connects back to something we'll talk about on Tuesday, which is the one good case theory of research. If you find just one case that's helpful to your research and it's in your jurisdiction, or even if it's not in your jurisdiction, you can use that one case to open the door to all these other cases on your same point of law by using that key number, by finding that head note and that key number and finding other cases on that same point of law. And that's really helpful to us as researchers. You don't have to go back and Google. And I'll promise you one other thing. Once you get practice with these methods, you're never going to get away from this feeling of, I must have missed something. There must be more out there. I've done the key number system and there's only 4 cases in Massachusetts on this topic. There must be more. I'm going to go Google it. You can go do that. But I promise you that the West head note system works, and it works better than just Googling it, looking for other answers. All right, that's the end of video number 2. I will upload these onto Blackboard, and I look forward to picking up this work with you next week. Have a good weekend, everyone.